Hi there, here we are in the Zibo Mod 737-800. We're going to do some cold and dark start. This is not an aircraft that you can just throw up in the air and expect it to fly normally. It needs to be flight planned correctly. So here you see me in sim brief. I'm just going to do a short flight. We're going to do a short training flight, which is Cardiff to Cardiff. And as you can see here now, just put in an EGFF, and we're going to use today's time and date stamp, and also make sure we choose the aircraft 737-800 down there, and then the Zibo Mod profile, which we'll choose on the right hand side here. There you go, and this will generate the flight. We'll just check our arrival, which is EGFF, check in the arrival, and it'll generate the flight plan, which you'll see is a training flight, very good training flight. There you are. Take off, turn right, and away we go down to Cornwall, out into the Irish Sea, and then back again. So I'm just generating flight plan for the downloaded flight plans, and we'll get the PDF, XML, and FMS plans there. Okay, you can use the PDF in the EFB. You can use the FMS plan if you want to just fill in the FMC yourself, or you can use the XML plan, which does it all for you, and that's what we're going to be doing, and you'll see how that works. So on the ground at Cardiff, I think gate 8, and just going to look into the EFB, and the first thing we need to do is sort out ground power. So turn on ground power, ASU power if you want it, and then we go to airside services, page 2, where we'll get the flight plan. So we'll see that, load OFP, and then activate. Click on activate, everything will turn blue, and that has my passengers, my cargo, 0 fuel weight, and fuel. Okay, all of that will be transferred into the FMC. You can see here showing 113% fuel. That is incorrect. Obviously it'll defuel to the right amount. But then looking at the overhead, need to turn on the battery, the left hand fuel tank, and then the window heats up on the top right there, and then the electrical generators. Okay, we can now start the, oh that's right, I need to turn off the cabin utilities and make sure that I turn on the chimes and seatbelt signs, otherwise passengers will not be put onto the aircraft. Okay, so we also need to just turning on the seatbelt signs and no smoking. You see the fuel is going down because it's going down to the correct. Catering has been loaded. Cargo catering is loading, and cargo has loaded at 100%. So back into the aircraft, just checking the overhead, making sure things are okay. And we'll have a look outside, and you see the fuel truck is going away. The catering is still there. The catering trucks will go shortly, and then the buses will arrive. Well, passengers will go on through the gate. Okay, so now it is time to make sure everything is okay. Yeah, front doors open, and passengers will be embarking through the jetway as opposed to going upstairs. Right, so we'll be able to have a look at the FMC shortly. But just checking the overhead once again, everything is right. IRSs we set to nav. Okay, so set those to nav. Now what I should tell you is that you can have long, short, you can have real, long or short. You can set those in the EFB. I've got mine set on short, I think, so it'll only take 3 minutes for the IRSs to align, and then you can configure your position initialization in the FMC. Once again, just scanning the overhead, making sure everything's alright, and now we shall make sure that the thrust levers are in the idle position, parking brake is set, and I'm just checking my gear annunciator and lights there, and just going through the warning sounds as well, warning horns for fire alarms, etc. Pretty simple. Just check the levers are in the idle position, and then to the FMC. So click on FMC top left, and then position initialization. And what I should have done is I should have clicked to next page and then chosen the left IRS, but I forgot to do that. But it's not a problem. Here I'm requesting the flight plan. You can see that I've pressed the button next to flight plan. It will come up with load. Here it is. Click on load and it fills everything in for you. Activate it. Everything's filled in, including the runway of departure, etc. So it's all filled in. All we need to do now is put in our departure and arrival. So here you can see we're on departure. It's runway 12, XMO 1 Bravo departure. Thank you very much. And then arrival is ILS runway 12, and it's FIFA 1 Charlie arrival. Next we go to perf initialization, and you can see I've requested perf in it there. It's lit up with a grey box, and it'll come up with load on the left hand side at the bottom any moment now. There you see, click on load and it will load all that data in. You will need to put in your reserves. I've chosen 2.9 tons for reserves, put that in. You can now then go to takeoff, or M1 limit should I say, and M1 limit 45C at the top, and then next page is your V speeds, but you can just click those over. But you'll notice the CG has not been calculated. Do not calculate your CG until all your passengers are on board. Once all your passengers are on board, you can then click CG. Okay, so now we'll be in a position to start the aircraft, and just once again checking everything is in the right position. Levers are all done. Okay, so it's go to the overhead, and the right hand engine switch you go to ground, and then you'll see N2 on the bottom ECAM display there will rise. So we're just sorting out one final thing here for positioning. There you go. That's it. So if I'd have done it from next page and chosen the IRS, it would have been a lot easier, but not to worry. You can also download your cruise wind speeds from the download link, which is relatively easy. Just making sure once again everything is set. So now we go to starting the APU, and it's a case of just pushing the APU button down. You'll see the needle bounce in the gauge, and also you need to put APU bleed on. I haven't put that on just yet. We'll put that on in a moment or two. But you see the low pressure light is on the APU gauge there, just above and to the left of the APU switch, and you'll see that the APU EGT is rising. And as it rises, gets to the top, it'll come back down, the low oil pressure light will go out, and once it's stabilized, the blue APU light will come on, and that's when we can switch over from ground power to APU power. So here we are. You can see this, the needle's coming back down, the blue light will come on. There we are. That means we can switch over to APU power, and we can turn off ground power if we so wish. Okay, engine start is really quite simple, straightforward now, just making sure all gauges are in the green. Remove that caution, master caution light, and we have, you start the right hand engine first, so you turn the switch to ground, and then you'll see the N2 needle rise, and it takes a little bit of time on the right hand engine, but you see the N2 needle rising, and once it gets to around about 20-22, you can then inject the fuel by lifting the fuel cut-off lever. As I say, it does take a little bit of time on the right hand engine. You can see it is rising there now. Once it gets to around about 20-22, you can raise the fuel cut-off lever to inject the fuel into the engine. There we go. And then we go to the overhead, and you'll see the right hand ignition switch, which is on ground at the moment. It'll go to off, and then you can turn on, switch over to engine power then. So any moment now, switches itself off. Once the engine's, there you go, and switch over power, and now we turn on the left engine to ground, and you'll see that that will come, the EGT on that will come up a lot quicker, and also we'll have turned on the remaining fuel tanks by now. See, there we are. Once again it gets to 20-22, inject the fuel, go to the overhead to make sure that the ground switch turns off, and then we can turn on. Any moment now, you see the switch is on ground, it'll go to off, and then you switch over, and that is it. The engines are started, and now it's just a case of calling for pushback and moving out from the stand and going on your taxi. Just a couple of things to clean up, you know, your lights, so you need your logo lights on, wing lights, etc., position lights, and your taxi lights as you taxi out. And you can see all fuel switches are now down. Your damper switch has just gone down, and we're ready to go. Be a case of tuning radios to ground frequencies, whatever, and that would be it. So that is how you start the aircraft from cold and dark. It's taken approximately 13 minutes, approximately 13 minutes, and we're all started, and we're ready for pushback. You can see a bit of snow on the ground here at Cardiff. This was filmed a few days ago when we did actually have snow here. I hope you found this useful. Cold and dark start, but once again let me reiterate, you cannot just load up this aircraft with engines running at the end of the runway and expect to take off and everything be fine. You have to do it correctly, you have to do planning, and you have to go through the FMC for it to be done correctly. So hope you found it useful. We'll see you again soon in the near future. Cheerio.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up. Ground to cockpit. All doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.